Assalamualaikum. Me and my group will be presenting webinar industry process for the subject CMT307 Future of Oil and Gas Industry. So first of all, let me introduce my group mates. The first one is Muhammad Amin Syahir bin Muhammad Zulkifli. The second one is Muhammad Aiman Hamizan bin Muhammad Nordin. The third one is me, Muhammad Aiman Mustaqim bin Mustafa. The fourth one is Muhammad Nur Iman bin Nur Rashidi. So let's move on to the introduction. This webinar is regarding industry process in oil and gas industry. The webinar was delivered by Mr. Muhammad Izzat Nazmi bin Abdurrahim. The focus of this webinar is about floating production, storage and offloading, or the acronym is FSPO, which is a part of downstream production. FSPO converts unused tanker to production facility by installing processing facilities on board. FSPO process hydrocarbon received from well and store the oil before offload to shuttle tanker. The advantages FSPO are enable exploration of deep water field or remote area oil reserves, and FSPO can be used in bad weather as it is secured by mooring chain. FSPO layout include the process and areas of FSPO. Future challenges and outlook in oil and gas industry. Firstly, data transformation is important to forecast event and outcome of the production. Data analysis allows company to place early mitigation and reduce cost. Remote monitoring to monitor offshore that is far and coordinate vessels. Secondly, decarbonization effort to achieve net zero carbon emission 2050, flare gas recovery and carbon capture technology. Lastly, renewable energy is competitor for the industry.
Next is for the knowledge. The oil and gas industry are divided into three distinct sectors: upstream, midstream and downstream. The upstream sectors are concerned with offshore oil and gas platforming, with an emphasis on crude oil and natural gas field exploration, production and recovery. Exploration and production, EMP, is another name for this industry. A pipeline system will next transport the natural gas to the storage facility. The floating storage unit, FSU, is a common type in the midstream sector, and its primary role is to store natural gas. A pipeline system will next transport the natural gas to the storage facility. When the FPSO has produced and stored its maximum capacity of oil, the oil will be offloaded into the oil shuttle tanker, which will then transport the crude oil to an offshore terminal for further processing. The downstream sector includes the refining of petroleum crude oil, the processing and purification of raw natural gas, and the marketing and distribution of crude oil and natural gas derived goods. Gasoline or petrol, kerosene, jet fuel, diesel oil, heating oil, fuel oils, lubricant, waxes, asphalt, natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, as well as naphtha and hundreds of petrochemicals are among the items sold in the downstream sector.
Furthermore, a floating production, storage and offloading FPSO vessel is a floating vessel placed near an offshore oil field that processes and stores oil until it can be transferred into a tanker for transportation and further refinement. An FPSO vessel is designed to take hydrocarbons produced on board or from adjacent platforms or subsea templates, process them, and store the oil until it can be offloaded onto a tanker or, less frequently, delivered by the pipeline. Another way to reduce carbon emissions is to go below sea level. Subsea technology uses less energy than conventional upstream facilities on platforms or FPSO units, floating production, storage and offloading. It also offers higher recovery rates and lower energy use, all of which contribute to lower carbon hydroxide emissions. Official estimates put the amount of natural gas flat at roughly 150 billion cubic meter per year, equating to 350 million tons of carbon dioxide discharged into the sky. Decarbonization is at the heart of attempts to limit global warming. One method to meet the environmental commitments is to shift to carbon neutral energy sources like wind and solar. The most obvious and immediate strategy is to reduce carbon emissions from your current operation as much as feasible.
In conclusion, oil and natural gas are key sectors in the energy industry, and as the world's principal fuel sources, they have a significant impact on the global economy. The processes and systems involved in producing and delivering oil and gas are extremely complicated, capital intensive, and need cutting edge technology. So, what will happen to oil and gas industry in the future? The oil and gas business are one of the world's largest in terms of financial value, earning an estimated 3.3 trillion US dollar in income each year. Oil is critical to the global economic system, particularly for its major producers, which include the United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Canada, and China. We can conclude that the future for oil and gas is still going to increase in many aspects, as the sector itself gives a lot of profits or advantages for our country, and we could be one of the country that have a good and stable of oil and gas industry that could surpass all the developed countries all around the world.
So that's all from us. Thank you.